And a former pitcher whose pitches are a little high these days.
Finally tonight, the story of a man who found baseball, found he couldn't play it anymore, and then found God. Jon Burnham was a pitcher in the Baltimore Orioles organization once upon a time. Now his pitch has a higher target.
I wrote a book called The Winning Pitch, and we're promoting the book and getting people interested in it. The pitch being different than what I threw on the baseball mound. Now I share what Jesus Christ has done in my life. This same Jesus Christ that I used to bandy about in the locker room, why now I talk about him in a reverent manner because he basically changed my life.
And if you'd like to read Jon's book, you can get a copy of it at local Christian bookstores.
Former Bradley and Baltimore Orioles pitcher Jon Burnham signing copies of his new book in Peoria in the Big Inning. Today, he says he's turned his life on from his egotistical me-first days as a ball player, hoping now to help youngsters looking for role models do the same today.
They see good role models, they see bad ones, and so when they're growing up they say, no, I want to be one of the good ones. I don't think any of them want to grow up and be a bad one. They idolize these fellas and they become great ball players in and of themselves.
The name of Jon Burnham's book is In the Big Inning. It's available now at local bookstores.
A very special guest indeed. Jon Burnham is in our studio this morning. Does this look familiar to you?
Yes, I had to face many of those.
All right. Jon Burnham used to play baseball for Bradley and then AAA for the Baltimore Orioles. What was that experience like? When were you playing at Bradley?
We won the Missouri Valley Conference Championship in 1956, and that's where all the scouts were. So they said, get your college education behind you, and went out to Baltimore and stood on the mound with Harry the Cat Burkeen behind me. Paul Richards was in the dugout. Brooks Robinson was the third, and I was hoping I was looking good. A nervous hitter, a nervous pitcher always has the advantage. So I looked pretty good, and they signed me.
Oh, wow. And how long did you stay with them?
Well, interesting, I had a 9-win, 3-loss record in the minors. They moved me to AAA spring training. And they said, before you come back, gain some weight. And I said, no problem, I'm getting married.
Okay.
I gained 50 pounds before spring training. I rolled into camp and had to introduce myself to the manager, and it was all over.
Oh, wow.
I overdid it. I was coachable. They told me to gain weight. I did it.
Short-lived baseball career, but then you've gone on to do some other things. You are a counselor now.
Right.
And you've written some books, and you have a baseball theme in the Big Inning and some other themes. It's from a Christian perspective. Let's talk about the importance of what you've written and who it is that you're trying to reach.
Well, this first book, Gary, was written to explain how I became a Christian. Jesus was a swear word to me before I became a Christian, and I was needing help in my marriage, and I heard a message about how Jesus isn't a swear word, he's someone who can help your life. So personal relationship with him has turned this whole thing around in my life. And then that is a compilation of stories where people wanted what I had, and they asked Christ into their life as well. So that is called The Winning Pitch. The winning pitch to me was that I responded, and others have responded to the pitches I've given them to become Christians.
Let's see the second one,
Yeah.
In the Big Inning.
Right. It's here again a play on words. It's like
In the beginning.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
I got it.
And Christianity is not only taught, it's caught, and so therefore the glove, and keeps the baseball program alive there. And these are true stories, a compilation of stories related to how Jesus helped these people in the marriage counseling, as I've given seminars across the country and so on.
Let's talk about marriages, since you deal with that. And you know, in the United States we have this huge divorce rate.
Right.
People trying to figure out what's going wrong. Is it economics? Is it, you know, just the stress? Is it media? What are, say, the 3 basic bits of advice that you can give couples who want to stay married?
Well, I think the first thing, after a person gets married, they've said the vows. And the first thing, after I got married, after the reception, I violated the marriage vow by not being loving, honoring, and cherishing, by peeling tires all the way home because I had left my watch at home. I wanted to get on to the honeymoon. And I got back in the car, my wife was crying. I said, what's the matter with you? This is a happy day. She said, I married the wrong one. Now, is that a great way to start the marriage? So the communication, but basically having violated my marriage vow, that one of the first things that God does is to disallow a person to communicate properly. And so from that, it goes into financial ruin, and these are the kinds of reasons, and then they start looking over their shoulder for somebody else, and then it just goes from there.
So communication is a biggie.
Right, and especially with God first and then the mate. The priorities are so messed up because they leave God out, they have trouble, and he's the last one they turn to.
All right, now where can people find your book if they're interested?
Barnes & Noble, Berean Bookstore, Borders, they can get it on the internet.
All right, Jon Burnham, thanks for coming out this morning.
Well, thank you, Gary.
You go out back and you still got it or not?
Well, I fall off the mound now, and if there's any velocity, it's because I fell off the mound.
All right, thanks for coming. We're going to head to a break.